Hey there, it's Patmos and nice of you to join me for the continuing adventures with our little Ostriv town. We started to get across this side of the river, starting to build a few houses and things like that here. But we're also building our first row house. Let's jump to it. We do need some bricks there still, but we're getting close to getting that amount of bricks. So let's speed up. Hopefully we can finish our first row house quickly. We can see that our gardens here are doing a nice job. They're getting harvested already, at least some of them. Others, the people still have to get home first before they can do the harvest. Once they get home, they should be doing that. We have apples, buckwheat, potatoes, so we have food to spare. Maybe not precisely the amounts that I want, but we still have to bring in quite some harvest, so that should be okay. And in the end, it might be worthwhile getting another farm at a certain point. But just not really right now. All the farms are hiring, of course, to make sure that they can get all the harvests in, which should be very worthwhile. And we should have some extra bricks that we can use. Now, we can't see the bricks in the overview here, so if we want to know how many bricks we have, we need to go to the brick workshop, and we can see that they're at least creating a batch, so that is something. And they might have been on the way to bringing some bricks, but no, I don't see them. I do think we need to build one more house before we can get to the actual row house, which is fairly interesting. And we're going to get it in there. A new family is settling in town. That's nice. That means extra hands that we can use. I do want this granary built, by the way, so that we can really start selling good amounts of food in here. We've set it up for a bit, but only the food bit. So let's get going with the clothing. So let's put in clothes, warm clothes, and shoes so that they can sell those things here. We'll put in some sunflower oil too. That might be also very worthwhile. Then we need to start selling some things like, let's see, buckwheat, fish, and potatoes are here. So we need to sell some flour and, of course, our potatoes in this part of town. Maybe even some milk, once we can get some out of the cows. Alright, so that seems to be good. Now let's apply this to all and make sure that all of our buildings have people in them so that they can buy the food that they need here. I think they should be able to soon, yeah. At least they can buy this already, so these people living here won't have to starve. A lot of people are working in the fields now, so these are not really getting filled up. That should be one of the things to happen next. Otherwise, we will run out of charcoal. I think we already did, actually. So hopefully soon they can fill up... Ah, they're filling up this pile already. So yeah, let's get some charcoal back. That will be very interesting and very good for us if we can make that happen. We have 8,000 buckwheat now after the harvest. 5,000 potatoes. A lot of wheat. So that runs in the right direction. We have a messenger from Barvin Cove. Problem is, if we buy something now, and let's say we buy 1,500, it might not get here in time because of the winter. So the ship will start sailing once the winter is over. That does take some time. Ooh, let's see. Bulls, 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 bulls. We have a lot of one-year-old bulls. We can either slaughter them for clothing or use some of them as oxen on a farm. That could be very worthwhile. Ah, we constructed a granary. Probably the one down here. Yes, that's done now. Let's select this one. Buckwheat, potatoes, milk, apples, flour, horilka. What are we missing in there? I don't think... Oh, maybe some fish. Oh, but we don't have fish yet. That's not really going to happen. Alright, let's copy this into here. So that now they have the same goods list and they can all start to put in some stuff there too. Laborers by carts can be used to fill this up. So they should now be gathering all these goods. And that's very nice. Do have a lot of labor jobs available though. Alright, we need a few bricks extra. We need some wood in here. Could be interesting. Yeah, we already upped this to 2,500. So they should have enough wood for now. The smeltery should soon be working, but apparently not right now. That's probably because the water is about to freeze. Then it won't work during the winter. That's okay. Hopefully they can fill up all the charcoal piles quickly. There's no housing available for new people to come in, but that should be fixed as well. I think I'm going to order a few plows here, but before we do that, we need to supply for oxen. But I'm a little hesitant because, yeah, there it goes. All the things are now out of the fields. Let's supply for oxen. Once they have that, we can build the actual plows. Let's get this up to 500 each. And then do apply to all, so that all of the farms, once they get this stuff in, they will get up to 500. There comes the water. Now we get some hay in there too. I hope we have enough hay to spare, by the way. Yeah, we have for now. That might also be something to keep in mind. All right, let's get 2 oxen so we can build 1 plow. Let's do another one. That will be another plow. And we can do 1 more. So we keep at least 1 bull that's 1 year old for reproduction. And we do the same here. So we should be able to get 3 plows in here. So let's order those now. And that could help us switch to a different production system, or a crop rotation system, I have to say. And we're going to look into that in a while, not right now. Right now we have other things to worry about, like making some extra money. That's always nice. Let's sell a few apples. We don't need to buy iron anymore because we should have plenty now. We could buy some extra lime because we need it for the row housing, and I do want to invest a lot in row housing, and once this one is done I will show you why, but that's going to be very worthwhile. Alright, this granary is starting to slowly fill up. That's good. Yeah, one of the charcoal pits is done. They're bringing in all the goods here now, so we should see an increase in charcoal again. Yeah, a lot of pits burning or burning complete, so we can keep producing nails at this point. We have 600 now. We are producing flour, although not enough to supply everybody with flour. So those are little tweaks you have to do every now and then. We do need an extra mill to actually make sure that we get all the wheat transferred into flour that we can actually sell in the markets. We have only 40 to spare. That's not enough. So, the row house is done. Very nice. So there's 4 apartments in here, and each apartment can house a family. So that's very worthwhile. Why do I want to get more? Well, one of the special perks these row houses have is, for instance, that this one has a store in it. It will come at the expense of one of the apartments. So it has 3 apartments in here. But the store will make it so that we can have 8 different things for sale in there. And that's something that I really would like to have. So we'll get that. Anything else to sell? Not really. And by getting that, we will make sure that we don't have to build a lot of marketplaces here anymore. We have a few, but we can even get rid of a few, because they can sell all the goods in here. And building just this 1 row house will make up for a lot of normal houses that we need to build that way. So I like this. Alright, we're still drying bricks, gathering the raw materials for it. Clay. Clay we can get pretty close by, I believe. Where's my clay pit? Here. Sand pit, I mean. And we also need clay for it, so clay has to come from all the way up here. Could be something to find a better spot for those. I mean, we could build a sand pit right here. That would speed up production. Alright, let's build a sand pit right there. And can we also get a clay pit somewhere here? We can build it right here in the mountains where we can't build anything else. So that could be very good too. Then we'll have both close by to the brickworks. That should speed up production because charcoal and water is also close by, so they should spend less time walking around and more time building actual bricks. Ooh, the boat yard is ready. Let's set this up. Of course, during the winter months when the river is frozen, we don't need anybody in there. But on season we need 2. Like this. Oh, but it's now off season, so they can get out of there now. Yeah, that should be it. That's good. As soon as the season starts, let's up this, by the way. Let's make this 3,500 wood, so that they can start to construct soon enough. Hopefully these get done quickly. And I think we should do these first, by the way. So then we can get some fish soon. Now 3 fisheries will probably not be enough to really store a lot of fish in town, but they'll have plenty to just eat and save up other foods for the winter, so that'll be good. That's also a thing that people sometimes forget. I mean, we have a lot of food, but fish is pretty easy to get. And while people eat fish, they don't eat the other foods. So even though we can't get fish during the winter, they will eat this during the summer. And then in wintertime, there's more buckwheat and potatoes left because they did not eat that during the time that they had the fish. Of course, they will eat everything, but if you add an extra food source to it, they will eat less of the others. So that can be really beneficial. And that's what I'm aiming for. Right, we need a cart parking right here to make sure that they can use carts here to get all the clay and sand in even faster. Oh, that should really be something. They're preparing for the burning now. We need 1,200. We only have 1,200 bricks yet, so we're still needing another 6,000. But we'll get those. All right, let's order the boats. We're not getting the boats yet, of course. Yeah, now we can. As soon as the water is really freed up again. Then we can get the boats. And after that we can put people in the fishery. Right now there's no point putting people in the fishery because we can't even fish without the boats. And those are just people that won't be used for the sowing of their land. So that's not a good option. Alright, come on, finish this. Ah, it's still waiting on a bit of thatch. There it is. Construction still in progress, but now all these people are out of a job because they're working on the farms now. Let's trade some balaklia, flour, potatoes. Yeah, I'm not going to sell potatoes. Sunflower oil. Yes, we'll sell some sunflower oil, make a bit of money. Clothing, textile. We have not a lot of textile. We have not a lot of clothing, but at least the start is there. And this is it for now. Alright, we can order more boats here too. We have cart parking here now, where we should create carts for. And we now have 2 batches working at the same time. They are gathering the raw materials for the 3rd batch, so this really speeds things up. You can immediately see it. We have 2 batches going at one go, and that usually didn't happen before. So yeah, it works. Just make sure you get everything close, and we'll get bricks faster. Alright, let's take a look at our industry here. Because I kind of feel like some of these are not producing as much as they should be able to. So let's get an extra guy in here. This one is producing as fast as it can, and it has a lot of goods in here, so that should go pretty easily. But this could go faster because we have more textile in here, so let's produce extra clothing. Messenger from Derkachi. That's always the right one. The one that we want in here. Luckily we don't have to buy basically any iron anymore because we're producing plenty ourselves. Ah, the farms are plowed. Very nice. The fields are plowed. So what plowing does is, if we take a look at the farm, this field for instance, I'll take a look at it right here. We can see that the wheat requires 50 of the orange nutrients and 60 of the green ones. Plowing makes sure that you need 20% less nutrients to grow the wheat. So there will be more nutrients saved on the field. So right now we are combining the wheat with the hemp. But basically what we could do with the plow is just get 2 wheat fields and then use a fallow field, because we won't run out of the nutrients before that. So that can be really helpful. Then of course if we have cows and stuff on the fallow fields as well, they will regain the nutrients faster. So right now we have the hemp in here simply because we can't do 2 times the wheat in a row. But basically now we can, because we have the plows and we have animals that could roam on the pastures. We do need more animals though to roam all the available fields. So that can be something to work on in the future to make sure that we get more animals so all the fallow fields get filled up. But it is something, and it is nice if we can make use of plows in a way that would suit us even more. Now I'm going to check how much hemp we have. We have 1800 hemp. We have some flax as well. So what we could just easily do is switch these two out for some extra wheat that we can turn into flour, of course. And having more flour is very beneficial for our food production. So this should help increase the amount of wheat that we can produce without too much issues. That's very nice. I like it that way. Alright, we need to build another row house, but yeah, we're not near the amount of bricks that we need. So it might also be beneficial to us at this point to get some other constructions going as well. Now we can see the big mountain here, or at least the hillside. There's a lot of room for housing here. So what I would like to do is build a farm and get the fields up here. Now you know my usual way of doing that. We'll just see if we can build the fields here in an interesting manner. And if we can, we'll build the farm next to it later on. But first let's see if we can actually place the fields here. Well, there's one field that can go. The other field could go on the opposite side, I think. And then what we can do, I'll show you in a second. Let's make a slightly bigger field than usual. Get a little bit extra yield out of it. Oh no, this is not slightly bigger, by the way. This is going to be a very long field. You can see that. The other one's very short, but this one is getting way too long for my taste. Oh, well, I think this can work, actually. If we do it like this. No, it's not going to work. Let's demolish it. Let's demolish this one too. So this is why I don't build the farm yet. I first want to see how the fields go and where they go. Let's change things up a bit and build a field like this. 25 wide. 50 long. Like this. That's one. Okay. And now we'll build a field on the opposite side too, like this. Yeah, this should work. And now we add more fields here. We can build the farm on this end. And that's what we're going to do straight away so that we can get the farm done quickly. We'll build it somewhat like this. Uneven terrain. That's what we have to deal with all the time, of course. So people can get into the farm and then they can start to work here. Let's start building the farm. We also need a good stone well here to provide for the extra water that we need on this side of town. So let's build a well there. Let's increase the amount of fields that we can have. A messenger. We're going to check on him soon. That's the extra field. Balaklia. Should we get the extra stone? No, we have plenty still. So we don't really need it. No sunflower oil, nothing else really to sell. So we'll keep what we have. Now this way, we can really see where the fields are at and things like that. And now we built them on the slopes. So all the hard parts where we really can't build are now used for the farm fields. Maybe we'll just stick with 6 fields to this farm and just make the last field a bit bigger. That could also work. Yeah, this is nice. And then once the farm is done, we can completely set it up and we'll have an extra farm for next year. With just 6 fields, but that's okay. And now we make good use of the slopes. We know where we're going to build. And we get in the extra food. And that also gives us time to start building some extra village houses here. I'm not going to build too far because I want to build more fisheries there too. So let's just build 6 houses here. This field can be moved over for... No, not for later. We need to get it done quickly. This needs to get moved over. because we can't build that anytime soon anyway. We need more boats. This one has 3 boats. This one has only 1. We could put a few men in here to do some of the fishing already. But I think we're a little bit short still on men. Let's set some fish up in here. I'm going to do only dried fish. We have to set it to apply to all. And then you still have to do this. Only produce dried fish. Only produce dried fish. Dried fish will stay good for longer, so it won't spoil that quickly. They need some salt for that, but we produce plenty of salt. And we can just put in like 500 salt in each. And that should fix things. Alright, these don't really need workers already, but we'll put it in later. And then we can put some dried fish into the granary as well. Let's do like 500. And then we can start to sell it. I think we've already added fish. Yeah, so let's switch that out for dried fish. Messenger from Dakachi. Let's sell some charcoal and some apples, I guess. Because we still have apples in the export stock. And because we have them, they will spoil. So we need to get rid of them at a certain point. Let me check this granary too. There's no fish in there. That's good. Are we selling fish here? No, perfect. We'll leave it as it is. Are we trying to sell some fish here? Yeah, alright. Let's switch this over to dried fish too. And add some dried fish to this one as well. So we'll be selling fish in different parts of town. You don't need to get it to everyone as long as everybody just gets the food variety that they need. And this will save some trips for some people in this granary, for instance. So that could be helpful. Alright, this farm is done. So let's connect these fields to it. We'll do the closest 4 fields first. And then the other bigger ones. They need to remove that log. And then we can switch this one over too. Very good. Let's go to this farm. Tell them apply to all. And apply to all. That's good. What I would like to do is get plows here straight away. I don't think we can already with the amount of oxen that we have. Oh, we could get at least one plow. We can get 2 plows already. That's right. And soon we can get a 3rd one. So for the next year we should be fine. These should be supplying for oxen though, because otherwise we'll have a problem. We also need a manager in there. There comes the water and the hay. That's good. I think we should get a little bit of hay production on this side. We'll do a big one, by the way. So that we can produce our own hay once we get to the point where we need... when we get to some extra cows. I would like to get some extra cows at a certain point in this farm. Alright, there's a lot of uneven terrain here. You can see how hard it even is to just build this shed. So that is an issue. Let's get a few hay dryers here then. On some spaces that we don't really need. Right there. Very nice. Village house done. And did we get the manager yet? Yes, we got the manager. Alright, let's start to set things up. Now that we have the plows, we can really see what we can use. For buckwheat, for instance, we need 2060. But with the plows, we use less soil. So I think what we can do is do buckwheat. Then we can do wheat, because we're not really using a lot of that. Then we can do another batch of buckwheat. And then we need a fallow field. That would be very interesting. Let's start off with a fallow field here. Then do some buckwheat, do some wheat. And then do some buckwheat again. So this can really speed things up. Now I want to do the same a little bit with potatoes and one of the other features that we have. And I want to do it with flax. So we'll do potatoes, then we'll do a batch of flax, and then we'll do potatoes again. And then we'll leave it open. And here we do the same. Potatoes, flax, and potatoes. And then we use a fallow field. Ah, this is really going to work. And we could even do the same with buckwheat and then potatoes and then buckwheat again. And I think we can even do potatoes again, yes. And then have a fallow field. I think we can even do better if we start off with potatoes. Potatoes, buckwheat, potatoes, buckwheat and potatoes, and then a fallow field. That should be possible if we get animals on there too. So that will be a challenge. We'll do this one just right the same, so that at least we get all that we want. Let's activate all the fields now. They won't be using them this year, but they can be using them next year. And this is going to be very much worthwhile. This will be a very productive farm. Now let's go see. This is all working. This is all running smoothly. Yes. Okay, this is all good. We had a messenger. Ah, he's left already, so we can't do anything there. They are building this already. 2,500 bricks only needed anymore. We still have 2,400 in there, so that's going nice. I think we have enough oxen now. Yeah, this one is 10 months old, so let's make this one an ox. We get the 10-month-old soon. This one too. Yeah, we already have another 1-year-old there too. So we can get all the oxen on this farm that we need. Ah, that's going to be very helpful. They built the stone well here, which is nice. Houses a lot of water. I don't think it has a big difference compared to the other well. I don't think it's filling up quicker or whatever. It's just a different look. And that's it, but that's fine. We can see that they need to bring in the harvest soon. It's ripening. I think we got some good yields out of this, so that'll be nice. Let's go speed 3 again. That should help things out. We have no flour at this point. We still have a little bit of wheat though, so we could have had some flour, but everybody's eating it. We have 5,000 buckwheat still. We still have 1,000 potatoes, so not too many. So I think it's good that we got the extra farm, because our town is growing so fast. And we really need to feed everybody. And without, of course, a lot of houses with gardens, which makes it a lot easier, I know, but that's why I'm not building them. I don't want it to be too easy. Things can be quite tough. But we'll manage. We'll manage. And right now we have a functional tavern and things like that, so that's working. We can still grow. No housing available, which means that this house is already filled up. Ooh, the Spivak family. I guess they got quite a few kids, and now they're all their kids are living in the same apartment building, which is interesting. And here comes the next row house with the stores in there. I like it. I guess we should start to prepare for the next one already. I now want one with the arch underneath it, because that looks really cool. If you take a look at this, you'll see that there's a road underneath there with the arch where people can just walk through. That's just amazing. So let's start building it. As we'll see, this one finished soon. Although they take quite some time to build, so I'm not going to just stick around and watch that. We're filled up on iron ore, because we still don't have enough people to fill out these. It's okay though, I mean, it's fine. Ah, the row house is done. There it is, the second one. It does look different from the other one, which is nice. And it has a store in here. We just need one worker to provide, well, basically almost all the basic foods that we have. That's what I'm going to put in, all the basic foods, like this. And then the clothing. So we'll get normal clothing, we'll get shoes, and we'll get warm clothing. And then we'll put in firewood, because we also need to sell firewood to keep everybody warm. Let's set this up to only hire women too for throughout the year. They can be filled up like this, and let's put in a lady. Very nice. That should work. We have a messenger. Let's sell some charcoal, make some extra money. I don't think we can buy warm clothing there. No, we can't. We could buy some dried fish. Let's do so. I want to add some things to our town that we don't produce ourselves, because we have the money now. Let's just bring it in. Okay. New family is settling in town. All the apartments are filled up already. That's fast. Probably a few people got married. Oh, this is a new family. This is a new family. And this... Ooh, 3 new families. That's nice. That means a lot of extra laborers. And hopefully the farms can make good use of that. Yeah, they can hire people. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Let's keep the speed up. So at least we get some farming done. Could be time to get a few extra orchards too. For the extra apples that we could use. And maybe even some apricots or things like that. Kids going to school. That's a very important feature. The plows are ready. All we need now is to get these charcoal piles filled. But that will take time until the farms get ready. At the same time, we are producing bricks now in a very good manner. So let's keep that up. And it's probably time to start planning some cow sheds to get animals on the pastures. Alright. We'll just build one right here. And one opposite. There'll be 2. They do need a good water source. So let's build a well here too. And then we can get cows on the fields here too. Which will also mean that we get extra cows for meat and milk. That will also come in handy. It will provide quite a few jobs for the ladies, but we're also building houses in a good speed. So I'm not too concerned about that. Let's build some extra housing here. And I would also like to add a few houses with gardens here. Just to see them be a little bit self-sufficient. I'm not going to make them too big, of course. 4 houses with their own garden. That should be nice. And maybe one with a very big one. That'll be like the master in here. Alright, F1. Let's go. Too long. We can't make it that big, actually. Space is occupied. We need to remove 15 trees. Yeah, well, that's not my problem. Alright, this is interesting. Guess this will be my house. Pretty big with a big yard. Alright, there we go. A lot of trees need to be chopped, but that should not be too hard to do. Let's put it in. Let's remove this house for a bit. Let's get the well up first so that it can start to fill up with water before we get actually access to those cows. Now we should have plenty in here to just skip them over. So we'll just move a few cows and a bull to the other cow sheds. And then they should start to reproduce fairly quickly. So that'll work. We can see that all these fields regains all their nutrients. We can see that these fields are used, so they're still regaining their nutrients. That's okay. We still need to do some harvesting though. Which is not actually how I had it planned. We simply don't have the workers to actually do all of that. Maybe we should do October too as off-season, so that they can be hired as well. The more people that can be hired, the better it is. In some days. Maybe we should just do that here too. And we'll just put in 1. So that they can now be hired by the farms to actually do the harvest. We have only 1 month to go. And we still need to bring in quite the amount of goods. Now they are able to hire a few people. That's good. I think these already brought in all the apples. Yeah. So having just 1 in on the off season, that's fine. Maybe we need to do it here too. So during September and October and March, we just use 2 builders instead of everybody. And maybe this year in November too, so that they can be hired to actually collect some stuff. Let's see, Barvin Cove. We can get some Horilka there. That'll be good because we're out of booze, I think. At least out of Horilka. We do need booze and entertainment to keep everybody happy so that they can still come to our town. Yeah, all of these now got back to their jobs. So I guess November also needs to be a month that we use less people in here, in those buildings. Because we do need to bring in the harvest. September and October and March we'll just use 2. Well, that's something for next year. I think we have plenty of food for now. But working with the seasonal hiring is really a good option. I mean, some productions will halt a bit. For instance, the wood production will halt a bit because we'll take out 3 people. But since we have 3 forestries, that will free up 9 people in the harvesting months. And that should speed things up greatly. We can now see that this is almost ready. This is, well, not almost ready, but yeah, most is brought in. That's good. Here they still need to do a lot of harvesting, which they won't be able to do. But we can deal with that. It's not too much of a problem. It's just, of course, not what we want. But in the end, I think for next year, we fixed quite a bit by making sure that more and more people get hired or get out of a job during seasonal hiring. And then we can use those freed up people to do the sowing and the harvesting. But we'll see. We'll have to check that next year. For now, let's build a lot of the extra housing too. Let's do the ones that only have a few trees to be chopped down first. And then I think we can add a lot more people to our town, which we need. Balaklia. Sunflower oil. Yes, we'll sell some sunflower oil. Dried fish. No, although we have some in our storage, so that's good. And that's about it. Do we need to buy anything? I don't think so. So this will be good. Yeah, we now have some clothing to spare, finally. That's what I wanted. Do we have some shoes to spare? 350. Okay. We don't have warm clothing. So if a trader comes by that will sell that to us, we will get that. Child has been born. One of the cow sheds is ready. Alright, we are moving in the right direction. But we're also moving way past half an hour. So let's get an overview of our town. And there we go. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Leave all your comments in the comment section. I will respond to them. And then, of course, I hope to see you in a brand new video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.